is telling them who you are, where you from, and how you operate. So when you meet another chief, and you know, because he's gonna say, "What's your rap?" So they asked me, "Rod, what's your rap?" I'm like, "Iced out jewels with a platinum." I'm like, "Iced out jewels with this platinum style. My game blue smooth like a black and mild. Honey say she wanna step on the scene of similar to a sex symbol, if you know what I mean. Ice cream and a dream she be craving at night. For me to whisper in the ear, it's gonna be alright. Game tight, leave a body in a state of ecstasy, and every lady in the club wanna dance with me. See, I'm the type to stand all the tests of time, make love to the body and seduce the mind. Twisted in this rhyme, real platinum style. Got a line around the corner about a half a mile. Honey's lined up just to see it from real. They grabbing on my arms just to cop the feel. Asking all type of questions, just experience games. Sliding phone numbers, pictures, and telling me names. But it's the same the way these haters be hating on me, but platinum back gorillas, they don't want to see. But since the age of 3, I've been attracting all ladies. Yes, it's safe to say I was a platinum baby with this platinum style. A smooth young player driving ladies wild. And y'all motherfuckers can't hold me down because I'm the truth, motherfucker, and I'm known to clown. So what's your rap, nigga?
Damn. Look, that's a deep bow moment right there. All hail to the chief, baby. That's a deep bow moment right there. All hail to the chief. Oh my goodness.
It's the subject
so good.
matter. It's the subject matter. Right? So in the nature of the Bloods and Crips, their sworn enemy was the police. The police is what caused these chiefs to wake these clans up to redeem the land from the policy enforcers. At the time that the Bloods and Crips emerged from the varying little local sets, the police was shooting us in the back in California. They was killing us with a chokehold. They was infiltrating the Black Panther Party, and they was running police raids. They blew up Joseph Sinque. Literally, you can go back and look at the footage that played on the 6 o'clock news that told us, nigga, you go out of line, we will blow your house off the planet. But they arrested with no incident Patty Hearst, who was their victim, right? But then that Gerald Ford gave her a full pardon, so because he understood Stockholm syndrome, and he understood that Joseph Sinque was part of the MK Ultra program, and he went rogue and went into business for itself, just like Charles Manson, because neither one of them believed in this race war philosophy. And the warnings that came from Charles Manson, he was the first conspiracy theorist whistleblower recorded, but they don't tell you that. They classify him as a serial killer, and the man never killed nobody with his hands and never gave a direct order to anybody to kill anybody, and nobody ever said he did. But he was the one that came out and said they planning on fluoridating all of the water across the land in order to have us under mind control. Charles Manson was the first person recorded telling us that when he was telling it to the family. He was the one said that they was using LSD in the government programs, and they was giving it to him, and he was giving it to them to show him what they gave him. The same dude that taught him and Joseph Sinque mind control was best friends with a very prominent Christian preacher by the name of Jim Jones, who decided that he was going to take his congregation to Guyana in order for him to be their Messiah and get him heaven on earth. And all he brought him was death and destruction on a white night knock off of a Kool-Aid sip. So when you start seeing all of the dots connect, it begin to make too much sense for you not to know that you're looking at exactly what you're looking at. An ongoing war effort of an invading force looking to subjugate the people of the land by giving them misinformation in the form of a propaganda campaign that they call an educational system. Because if you can convince the people whose rightful birthright it is that it ain't theirs, then they'll fight for something that's not theirs instead of fighting for what's theirs. right? And that's why Tupac asked the question in one of these songs. He say, "Tell me, am I wrong for trying to fight for what is mine? I ain't fighting for somebody else shit. I'm fighting for my own self birthright." Right? And all of us chiefs across the land, as we move up in knowledge, we get to understand how the enemy operate. I'm a war chief. That means I'm well versed in military strategy, whether it's Machiavellianism, whether it's Sun Tzu, whether it's Karl von Clausewitz, whether it's Napoleon Bonaparte, whether it's Hannibal, whether it's Muhammad Ahmed, all of the great generals, I've studied them.
So, Kelly and I were talking about somebody said Kelly wants to know about the dragons at the bottom of the ocean. Kelly and I were talking one day on the phone, and we were just talking. I didn't know anything about a dragon at the bottom of the ocean, but I was talking to her, and all of a sudden I saw these big eyes looking at me, and I knew it was at the bottom of the ocean. And I said, Kelly, it's something really big at the bottom of the ocean, and it's big as several bodies of water, and it's looking at us right now. And it's, it's just the eyes were just going. So tell us about the dragon at the bottom of the ocean.
The earth spirit is called Tiamat. Let that sink in for a minute. The earth spirit is called Tiamat. The symbol of Tiamat is the great dragon. The Kundalini energy of the earth is the energy that is Tiamat. Right? So they use sorcery to put her to sleep, and they use science to reinforce the sorcery. The science they used was nuclear holocaust, which caused the nuclear winter. But it wasn't going to matter that they artificially induced the nuclear winter, ice age with a nuclear winter to put her to sleep so that they can run rampant. Now she's awake because the women are waking up, and we're going into the sun cycle. The ocean is heating up. Just like in the springtime, bears come out of hibernation. In the sun cycle, the great Tiamat spirit awakens, and it sends a frequency around the planet. Y'all feel it, but y'all don't know what y'all feeling. The women feel it, but they don't know what it is. It haven't happened in so long. It's like nobody never told me I was gonna feel like this. It's something I never felt before. What the fuck is this? Right? That's how they feeling because nobody ever told them before.
It's all kind of energies. It's even to the point of almost ready to pass out. Like you feel real dizzy sometimes, like you just standing. And yeah, it's real strong. And especially in Florida. Every time I go to Florida, it's real strong in Florida. Like really strong.
Florida, the finish line. When we was called to war to Florida, when we in the war, every chief that crossed the Florida state line, it's like clocking out of work. We clocking out of the conjure. We clocking out the conjure in order to go back home where we belong on the land. Florida, the finish line. They called us there for war. Now that the war is over, we return in peace in order to restore the peace back to the Florida territory. It's the same with having the family reunions in Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, and Louisiana, because those family reunions, that was all part of the war. The French Legion we fought on was called the Louisiana Purchase Territory. But while we was fighting the French Legion there, we was fighting the conquistadors in the Florida territory. And that's how the French captured the Fort of New Orleans, which is the old Mississippian Navy prime headquarters port. And that's why they always give reverence to New Orleans in the American history. They never tell us why. All immigrants used to come in to New Orleans. You couldn't come in New York like they do now. You couldn't come in through Cali. You had to come in through New Orleans because you had to be screened by the down south tribe, the old Mississippians. All of those tribes, just the 5 civilized tribes, are just some of the Mississippian tribes. They're not all of them. There was thousands of tribes that were set up alongside the Mississippi River in varying locations. And we know the old spirit sciences in order to redeem the land and to restore the matriarchy. But they was killing all of the chiefs that knew what to do. Like, for instance, they tell us Emmett Till was was captured by some pale faces for whistling at a pale lady, and all the time Emmett Till was apprehended by some niggas who was gonna give him to the pale faces and then they said he was whistling at the pale lady to get him an excuse to go get him. But what they really heard him is whistling Dixie. It was a war cry. And they knew that if he woke up, that his name was going to be Chief Littlehorn, and started calling himself that, and he started embodying that energy. It was over for their ass. His job was to rally the troops to war using the whistle.
Mm.
That's why the lady never went to court for the case. They never charged her with anything because she was just thrown under the bus by them niggas that didn't want to see us come up.
Everybody ain't your friend. Everybody ain't your partner.
You know, all skin folk ain't kinfolk. Some of them look like us, but they ain't us. They'll sell a mama and we'll kill you about ours. They'll sell their children and we'll break your neck about ours. That's how you know the difference. If they willing to sell their mama and their child, they not us. And selling the land to us is the same as selling your mama. And that's how you know in the treaties who ain't us signing treaties. Right? And that's how they use sharecropping agreements to take the land from us. They tell us we was all slaves, but they don't tell us how we got all these thousands of acres of land and we was never reparated for slavery. You have family with 100,000 acre plots. My grandfather land, they've built like several cities on just his land. And the Macomb area. His farm was actually in Magnolia, Mississippi, but the land that he was holding extended from Macomb to Tylertown. All of that was his personal farmland that they industrialized and built towns and cities on for work camps in order to steal the land from the people and give us jobs as farm hands on our own shit.
Damn.
The sharecropping agreement is how they stole the land. Same way they do us in Hollywood with them damn 360 deal contracts, where they end up with all of our intellectual property and we end up starving to death.
You know, those
It's an
contracts are
enemy we
structured.
fought on many fronts.
Yeah, they structured in such a way until if you don't know and you're not paying attention, you signing your whole soul over. You don't even know. You signing everything over, your likeness, your everything, your name, all of it, and you don't even know because of how they word it, how they put it in there.
Throughout the boundless universe in perpetuity, forever and ever, amen. That's how they say it. We will own your image and likeness in perpetuity from now into eternity. Amen. I mean, they always own the rights to your intellectual property. The songs you write, the scripts you write, the dances you create, they own the right to it as long as they own the copying rights. The right is to copy your intellectual property. That's why it's called a copyright, right? And they own and issue the rights of copy, which is to duplicate you. And that's why they can take us out and put somebody else in our place because we already consented to the agreement in the contract when we acknowledge the copyright, the right to copy us, to duplicate us, to create a straw man in our name and do business with the straw man as if you're doing business with us. And all the time it's a grand deception, a David Copperfield trick, an illusion.
Damn.
You
And the
got a
5
lot of people.
is up. 2025. That's 9. That's the completion of a cycle. That's what 9 adds up to. That is the completion of that's the final. 7 is the completion of a cycle. 9 is the finality. That's the final time. That's what 2025 is for us.
And it's also the maturation of the birth for the new age to be fully born in in the ninth, in the 9 year, which is the 9th month of gestation. It's all coded, but it's all there.
Every bit of it. Somebody put this in there. Daniel put in GD 90019.
C Nation, Cali on deck, crooked man walk across the land. It's a zip code, a code to zip up the land. It's a C Nation knot, a Great Dane. That's my dog, Dane Calloway. Calloway, I want to be rich, the money man, the money market, mark the money, right? So now you know we playing with mark money.
Yeah.
And the money, how is the money marked? With a serial code to match the zip code. So you unlock the money code by unlocking the zip code, right? And then you find the area code in order to find the area in which the code derived from. So I'm in the 313 flips a 7, and this is a 7 year. We in the 7th month. But the maturation of the contract is on the 19th day. That's the sacred seal, and the sacred seal comes from an Islamic education, the degree of Muhammad, the praiseworthy one, the one worthy to be honored. Not really praised is the wrong term. It's the honorable one, the one worthy to be honored. But they say praiseworthy because honorable is a title of nobility that's patented by the royal families of Europe. So you don't call yourself the noble, you call or the honorable, you just say that you praiseworthy, worthy to be praised, mean recognized as an honor, but not your honorable, as in the judicial system, which is the Levite laws of the corrupt regime. And this is why they use the system of the levy, which is Levi, and the lien, the anagram for Enlil. So Enlil put the lien on the people and gave it to the Pope and said we would never figure it out. So I figured it out to prove them wrong. So you prove them wrong and you produce the facts, and then the facts speak for themselves, and then you speak for the people. So while they arguing with the facts that speak for themselves, I can continue to tell the people about their bullshit so we can be free, because I don't feel like being nobody's servant.
Right. They saying teach. They saying like cold water on a summer afternoon. That's how good this is right here. See, I hadn't been around this kind of talk so long. Thank you.
The stuff that I be talking about, this is how our children used to talk before the settlers came. This is the conversation that two 12-year-olds from two different tribes would be having. Now you have to get to your 50s in order to have access to the amount of information required for you to be yourself, because they have a stranglehold on information. Most of us don't know where to look to find the information we need. So I just came to tell them where all the information is. This is where they hiding it at. Look over here. Oh, he flipping codes. This is what it means.
So someone said, speaking of Enlil, is he here now, and is Inky as well?
Inky's in Antarctica. Because they got to come in to see. Inky and Inanna is going to come and see the Earth jurisdiction to Hootie, which is me. So they got to do this big old thing, South Africa. Which I don't feel like going over there. But we gonna have a Anunnaki jumper ship called the Crystal City. It was actually built on Earth in Atlantis, and they used it to transport gold and precious minerals to Nibiru from Earth. When it returns, it's gonna land in Colorado on Emerald Lake. That's the end of the Yellow Brick Road. But it's parked right now in Antarctica. And they have flown it over the land several times, and it has been recorded, and people have seen it. And it's all on TikTok, but people think it's a what's that stuff? Project Bluebeam. They think that it's a government projected. It's not. It's really here.